Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beyond Second Cognition. I'm Beall. This podcast is to announce the release of the new Great Awakening book. Now, there's a lot of people following this Great Awakening movement planet-wide, but they really don't know the overall bigger picture of what it actually means and what it can lead to for this species, nor the importance of understanding it and embracing it. Humanity has been deluged, immersed in living in a world of perceptual illusions. Now, I know how hard this claim is for people to accept. I don't mean that your life is an illusion. What I mean is that our beliefs are illusions. They are illusions that arise from concocted narratives that certain factions on this planet have utilized to keep humanity's cognitive awareness enslaved, fighting and defending the narratives, embracing these narratives as part of their personality to identify with. We've had all these wars at the hands of the controllers, fighting, dying, bleeding, hurting, all over perceptual illusions. We've been living in a fairy tale, ladies and gentlemen, and there's a lot of fairy tales out there to embrace and say, well, I believe this and I am that. These are the types of illusions I'm talking about. Those who are involved in the Great Awakening and following certain channels of information, you hear the word narrative a lot, about an information war. The question is, how long do you want to live a narrative rather than live life? How long do you want to continue bending your knee to authorities of one sort or another before you stand up on your own 2 feet and humanity takes charge of its own destiny rather than relying on fictional myths and narratives to keep us ever hanging on the line, waiting for some supernatural fix to come along or some authority to tell us what to do and how to do it and how it's all going to be okay. The where we go one, we go all thing is a nice motto. But if you don't understand its overall full meaning in the bigger picture, you're not getting the bigger picture. You're only seeing part of it. The new Great Awakening takes the so-called Great Awakening, of which there have been 3 or 4 before. It takes it to a new spectrum. These people that say, well, I want to know the truth is an ugly pill to swallow. It's also a very big pill to swallow. If you want to know the truth and you think you've got the stomach for it, then by all means read this book and the other books we've written, because they've all been about illusion busting. They've all been about exposing the false narratives we have all been sold that we accept as reality, when in fact they are nothing but stories. If you're unprepared to face that kind of truth, then don't read this book. Don't read any of our books. Because you have to put on your big boy shoes and your big girl shoes in order to accept this broader perspective of reality. And you have to be able to change yourself before we can change the world. And I find that most people are unwilling to change themselves. They want the world to change around them for them rather than doing the necessary personal work to advance themselves. They want miraculous solutions of one form or another, somebody to wave the magic wand to make it all okay. Some hero, some authority, some god, some angel, some something or other, anything except doing it for ourselves. This new Great Awakening book is about telling people how to remove a lot of these illusions and take charge of ourselves as a species. Although there's millions of people around the planet that claim they want to know the truth, the fact is they don't really want to know the truth. What they want is anything that will validate their narrative belief system. So it's not really the truth. It's a form of confirmation bias, belief reinforcement. That's not truth, ladies and gentlemen. That's only belief reinforcement. And the beliefs all arise from one narrative source or another. Humanity lives in a hearsay reality. We believe what we're told because somebody told somebody and they told somebody else, and it got passed down for hundreds or thousands of years. And so we're all living in a second-hand reality. We don't reach our own decisions because our decisions are based on the narratives we embrace to shape our perceptual reality. This New Great Awakening book has some very heavy-duty narrative exposure, and it's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable, particularly people of faith, but also a lot of the occultists and New Agers and everything else. Because when you buy the illusion and you embrace the illusion and you make it part of who you are, then you're a slave to the illusion. So if you can't handle having an illusion exposed or a series of illusions exposed, don't read our work, because you're not going to be able to deal with the truth. Primarily because you want your perceptual narrative reality endorsed and validated. If you really want to grow into a shift to consciousness away from controlled intellect robot programming, which is what humans are. We are flesh robots, whether we like it or not. If you want to transcend that programming, you've got to get rid of the things that keep you programmed, keep you ignorant, keep you slaves to somebody else's narratives. And if you can't accept this, then don't read our work. If you think you want to know the truth, and you really got the guts and the gumption to face it and deal with it and overcome it, then by all means, read our work. It's not written for the faint of heart, and it's not written for the lightweights, and it's not written for people that just want to give the idea of lip service. If you want to know the truth, you better be able to put your money where your mouth is, otherwise get off the stage. I have no patience any further for all these people that profess, well, all they want to know is the truth, when in fact you don't want to know the truth. You'll avoid it at any cost. So this is the challenge to those to read this book. If you got the gumption and the balls to do it, then by God, read the book. And if you don't read the book, and don't bark up my tree because you disagree with the fact that you are living in a reality of illusions and hearsay and secondhand information. The books have been uploaded and should be available on Amazon and Kindle in the next day or so. I would ask that the readers purchase these books from Amazon or Kindle rather than third-party booksellers. It helps us out. For those that want more expansive information, more of what we call voodoo information, because it really stretches your perceptual reality, we have the website, Patreon, Gemma Beall, and you can go there and join it. Membership's $15 for the whole shebang, or $5 for the video membership. If you want some interface with other people that have ideas similar to yours, that want to grow, that are trying to transcend the illusions themselves and enhance their knowledge and awareness, then you might want to join our Patreon site. It has a forum interface where people communicate back and forth with each other, blogs, videos, book previews, the whole 9 yards. But it's only there for people with the gumption to grow themselves and deal with the issues that we expose in our books. If you're content living in your narrative reality, being a slave to somebody else's ideology, then don't bother, because you're not mature enough or adult enough or grown up enough to handle the truth that you claim you want to know. So this is the challenge. If you want to know the truth, buy the books and find out. You ain't going to like what you find there, but it's going to be the truth. You may find points of disagreement, which is fine too. You want to prove me wrong? Go out there and do your own research and come back with the evidence that proves me wrong, other than saying, well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's just excuse making. It means that you're so sheep-dipped in your narrative reality you can't handle an altering perspective beyond the digested belief system of your own particular narratives. Does that sound harsh? Yeah, it is harsh. But it also happens to be totally true where this species is concerned. For those of you doing the work, stay the course and don't give up on yourselves.